Times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
Are you way down by battles in life? Are you thinking of quitting the race? There is no need to give up on your journey, because I know my God will turn it around.
Are you way down by battles in life? Are you thinking of quitting the race? There is no need to give up on your journey, because I know my God will turn it around.
I know
My God will turn it around.
I have
Seen my God turn it around. There are so many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
I know
My God will turn it around.
I have
Seen my God turn it around.
There are so many
There are so many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
Have you suffered from disappointment? Have some people turned their backs on you? Just keep holding on to the one who cannot disappoint. I know my God will turn it around.
Have you suffered from disappointments? Have some people turned their backs on you? Just keep holding on to the one who cannot disappoint. I know my God will turn it around.
My God will turn it around.
I have
Seen my God turn it around.
there are so many.
So many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
I know.
My God will turn it around.
I have seen.
I have seen my God turn it around.
There are so many.
There are so many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it
Around. Are you thinking that you're all alone? Do you feel God has forsaken you? He has promised to keep you till the end of the journey. I know my God will turn it around.
Are you thinking that you're all alone? So you feel God has forsaken you? He has promised to keep you till the end of the journey.
God will turn it around. I have seen my God turn it around.
There are so many, many, many times.
In my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
I know.
My God will turn it around. I have seen my God turn it around.
There are so many,
So many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around. My God will turn it around. I have seen my God turn it around. There are so many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around. My God will turn it around. I have seen my God turn it around. There are so many, many, many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around.
So many times in my life that I have seen my God turn it around. Good evening, New Season Gospel FM family. Good evening. It's another Monday. We're just here again with you on Faith Matters with me, Mnena. It is always a pleasure. It's always an honor to just come on a Monday evening to spend the time with you reflecting on our daily Christian walk. I want to take the time to say thank you to those who have joined me this morning on 89.1 FM. Thank you so this evening. This evening on 89.1 FM. Thank you so much. To family who have joined in on newseasonfm.com, thank you. Family who have joined in on YouTube, thank you so much. And of course, Facebook family in the room, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pastor Henry, I see you on. Thank you so much. Good evening, Sister Helena. Thank you for coming on. Oh, my word, James, it's so good to have you on. Where have you been, my brother? It's good to have you on. Thank you for coming on tonight. Reverend Crescent, thank you. Yay, thank you for coming on. Hi, Sister Salma. How are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on this evening. It's always great to just come on and share with all of you just how our faith walk is going. How is the journey so far for you? It's not a walk in the park for me. I don't know about you, but it's definitely not a walk in the park for me. But God is faithful, and it is just it's just awesome to always come on here and just reflect on just how the journey is and all that good stuff about our faith. So again, thank you for joining me this evening on this Memorial Day. Majority of us on this part of the world, we're off today. We got just got a chance to sit back and reflect on the sacrifices that many of our service members have done for us. So we're so grateful for them, those who've lost their lives, and so we're thankful for them, and we just remember them today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your service, and to their families as well, because the families also give as well. So we're thankful and grateful for all their families as well. So again, thank you for coming on this evening. This is Faith Matters. If this is your first time coming on the show, it's Faith Matters. Faith Matters is a platform where we reflect on our daily Christian walk, how we're being Christ's hands and feet. How are we shining his light brightly for others to see? Are we just a Sunday Christians, or are we Christians 24/7, which is what the call is? We are called to be Christians 24/7. It's not just a Sunday deal. You come to church on Sunday. Once you leave church, that's it. No, we are called to be Christians every single day of our lives. And like I said, it is not easy. It is not easy, but by the grace of God, we're able to do it. And so we're just here to encourage one another, especially that's what New Season Gospel FM is about, encouraging one another on this faith walk, on this journey. And before I get right into it, I just want to again take the time to say thank you so much to our sponsors and supporters. It's because of your generosity that we're able to do what we do. It's because of your support that we can come on the air time and time again, bring programming like this, programming of faith, of encouraging one another, and just promoting God's truth out there. And without you, we would not be able to do this. So thank you so much. I know I speak for the entire team when I say we're so grateful. If you haven't supported yet, you've been on the fence about it, you don't know how to go about it, please prayerfully consider, and there's ways that you can do. You can support by going to our website, newseasonfm.com. Just click on the give/donate button right there, and it takes you right to the page where you're able to give. You can also do so through Cash App. For Cash App, it's the $ New Season WC. Again, that's the $ New Season WC. You can also do so through Zelle. For Zelle, it's 954-536-1821. Again, that's 954-536-1821. If any of those don't work for you, you just say, okay, I'm just going to write out a check. Please, you can go ahead and do so. You just mail out your check to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351, or 33319. Either of those zip codes will get straight here to us. Again, If you haven't supported, today's the day to do it. Don't be on the fence about it. What have you been waiting on? So just come on, get on board, and support your radio station. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes and just in the general day to day running of the station. And so we rely on your support. Thank you again so much to those who are just constantly supporting God's work. And so we're so grateful for all of you. And like I said, I speak for the entire team. We're so grateful. Today is May 30th, guys. May 30th. It means that this is the end of the month. It's the end, well, literally end of the month tomorrow, but it is the end of May. Again, it seems like just yesterday I was sitting here saying, hey, it's the start of May. Where are you at? Before you know it, the month is going to come to an end. And here we are. It's May 30th. We're at the end of the month. Where are you at? This is literally, if you haven't been taking anything I've been saying seriously about checking in and taking stock of where you're at, this right here is really where you need to take a pause. Take it seriously, people. Take a pause and check where you're at. Take stock, check where you're at. We are at the midpoint right now. It's May 30th, it's the end of May. We're getting into June. And so once we get that, we've hit the half mark right there. So where are you at? Are you able to look at yourself or look at your accomplishments from when the year started to where you are right now and be able to say, this is what I've done, this is what I've accomplished, these are the steps that I've taken towards achieving or accomplishing those goals that I've set for myself, and are you able to just really be proud of yourself, which you should be if you've worked hard, if you've just really been consistent in making those steps, taking those steps to get into where you need to be. You should be proud of yourself. This is a time where you take a pause and check in and say, wow, I've, by God's grace, I've done this, and I say that all the time to just glory in those baby steps because they help to ginger you on. Sometimes we're like waiting to see that big thing happen, but it may not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. But if you're able to just sit back and see the steps that you've taken towards achieving those goals, then you'll be able to say, oh, wow, I've done this much. I've come this far. And that should be enough to spur you on to say, hey, keep going, to nudge you on, to push you, that push that you need to keep going. So again, please, where are you at? You need to take stock of where you're at right now. Good evening, Sister Laurel. It's nice to have you on. So where are you at? We're at May 30th. It's the 150th day of the year. 150. Meaning we only have 215 days left in this year. So where are you at? It's going by really quickly. Do not let time pass you by. There's no time like the present. The time to do it is now. Whatever it is that you've been thinking about, you've been wanting to do, but you've just been procrastinating. If you're a procrastinator like me, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, not wanting to do it, or you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I'm too fearful to start on this, I'm too scared to do this. Just go ahead and do it. There's no time like now, like the present, to do it. It's not, time's not waiting on you. So you don't want to get to the end of the year and be like, ooh, I really have nothing to show. That would be a sad, sad story. And I'm saying this in terms of just generally in everything, your entire life, their spiritual aspect as well. Where are you at spiritually when the year started? I know I've grown. I'm hoping that you've grown as well. Good evening, Sister Claudette. I'm hoping that you've grown as well since the year started. I mean, it would be a shame if you're still at the same level faith-wise when the year started. I'm hoping that's not the case, because we have a problem if that's the case. A problem that you really need to sit back and check in and make sure that you turn things around. And so I just want to just throw that out there as an encouragement to you this evening, to just check in with yourselves and see where you're at. Again, that's just my little spiel that I always give, encouraging you to check in, take stock where you're at. If you haven't started anything, it's not too late. You can start right now, set those goals for yourself, and then run with it. If you've been, taking those steps, just and having, if you're the one who's waiting to see that big thing manifest and you haven't seen it, so you're just like, okay, I can't really be excited right now, or I can't rejoice right now because I haven't seen that big thing manifest. I would really just urge you to just take the time to look at those baby steps that you've taken towards achieving those things, those big goals that you've set for yourselves, and rejoice in that. Rejoice in those steps that you've taken. Again, that really just helps open your eyes to really see the progress that you've made, and it helps to just encourage you to keep moving. Again, I'm gonna leave it at that, but just take stock of where you're at. Take stock of where you're at. Again, it's the 150th day of the year. We only have 215 days left. Jumping into my holidays, of course, today is Memorial Day. We're, again, like I said, we're just really remembering and honoring those who've died while serving in the military. So it's a day that aims to raise awareness about the nation's freedom and the price of freedom. So we just really we remember all of those who lost their lives today. It's also Loomis Day. So Marlon, I really didn't know about this, but apparently Marlon Loomis thought of what seemed impossible in that time. I mean, in that time that was really, really impossible, but we're living that right now. He gave people an idea to see things as they not yet were. So his idea was wireless communication. That's what we're living. That's the time we're living in right now. Times of wireless communication. So thank God for Marlon Loomis, who thought about this. This is something that we take for granted in our day and age today. We just literally take this for granted. The fact that we can get on the internet, the fact that we're broadcasting live right now, that you can watch me from wherever you are. People are watching all around the world. That's because of Loomis. And so we're so thankful and grateful to him. Whether we're talking or texting, using our laptops, and all of those things that we're literally doing right now. He had wished to harness the electrical currents of the Earth's upper atmosphere. I mean, that sounds all big and fancy, but that's the world we're living in today. So thanks to him, we're able to do what we do, what we're doing today, and enjoying the communication, simple and easy communications that we're experiencing and enjoying today. My bucket's got a hole in it today. This is weird. Again, if you're just coming in, this is just my weird segment of holidays and obscure holidays that we sometimes knew, sometimes we didn't know about. But it's my bucket's got a hole in it day. I don't know who comes up with these holidays, but that's just a weird one. So my bucket's got a hole in it day is a day where if you have a bucket, I don't know, but if you do have a bucket, you got to check to see if it has a hole in it, then you repair it, or you try to find some way of using that bucket. It's World Creativity Day. I love this one, World Creativity Day. I think that we've all been gifted in different ways, and it's just really important for us to really tap into our creativity, into ourselves, and just bring out. A lot of us are just so creative, but we don't know it. We're just waiting for someone to really, sometimes someone to pull it out of us, or for some incident or something to happen to just spark that creativity in us. So it's World Creativity Day. It's also World MS Day today. Tomorrow is Autonomous Vehicle Day. It's Meditation Day as well. It's Smile Day. I love that one, Smile Day. Speaking Complete Sentences Day. Again, I don't know. I mean, I guess there are people out there who speak in incomplete sentences. But if you're one of those, tomorrow is a day where you get to speak in complete sentences. What you think upon grows day. Again, this is another one. I think it sounds funny and long, but I think this is really, it makes sense. What you think upon grows day. So whatever is in your mind, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you are harboring inside or just mulling over and over and over, it grows. So it's a day for us to be, just really be conscious of the thoughts that we have, because those thoughts grow, and they become, they could grow into hopefully something good. And that's why we have to be mindful of the thoughts that we have on the inside. So what you think about Grows Day. It's also Parrot Day. So for those of you who love parrots, it's Parrot Day tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, call your parrot tomorrow, or mommy's parrot tomorrow, and just tell her you love her and have her talk to you. It's also Save Your Hearing Day. Just bring awareness to just how important it is for us, for how sound affects our ears. Sometimes it's loud music, so being conscious of the sounds around us that might affect our ears. Wednesday, of course, Wednesday, drum roll. On Wednesday, I'm officially going to have a 9-year old. So Wednesday, that's a holiday. That's a holiday in my household because someone's going to be officially 9 in my household on Wednesday. It is Flip a Coin Day. It's Flip a Coin Day. It's also Global Parents Day. So celebrating all parents on Wednesday, June 1st, celebrating all parents on June 1st. It's International Children's Day as well on Wednesday, June 1st is International Children's Day. It's Global Running Day. It's Go Barefoot Day. So for those of you who don't love shoes, you can't be bothered with shoes, you just want to go about barefoot, knock yourselves out on Wednesday. Those of you who like hazelnut and cake, it's hazelnut cake on Wednesday. I don't know how I feel about that one, but anyways, there are people who love it. So it's nail polish day. So ladies out there, I say ladies, I think nowadays you also have men who put nail polish on. So yeah, I'm just gonna move along. Nail polish day on Wednesday. It's pen pal day. I don't know if this still happens. I know that many years ago, when I was in primary school, I used to have a pen pal. I do think does that still exist? I think now with technology and all that, people are just like texting and sending emails and doing all of that. I don't think there's pen pal. I don't know if it still exists. Anyways, I know for a fact my kids don't know what that is. It's New Year's resolutions, recommitment day. Again, it's June 1st. It's the sixth day, the sixth month of the year. So it's New Year's resolution recommitment day. So for all of you out there, I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I don't make them. I just believe in setting those goals and taking those steps to achieving them. But if you're the one who makes those New Year's resolutions and they work for you, but in some ways you sort of like fell off the roadside. June 1st on Wednesday is the day where you get to recommit to your New Year's resolution. It's Oscar the Grouch Day. I love Oscar. I love Oscar the Grouch, not being a people person per se. I think he's one of my favorite people. I'm not grouchy, but I'm just not a people person. But yes, it's Oscar the Grouch Day. So for all those Oscar lovers out there, yay, let's celebrate Oscar the Grouch. Say something, just to find a grouch. If you have a grouch at work or anywhere, just try to annoy them a little bit, and try to make them smile, or just, but that whatever you try to do to a grouch, it still gets them. I think it makes them more grouchy because that's just who they are. But anyways, say something nice day. Say something nice day. I think this should be an everyday holiday. Every single day we should be saying nice things to people. We have to be nice. We have to be nice, especially in our world today. Be kind. Be kind. I have my favorite keychain that says be nice, and it's a constant reminder. It's a constant reminder. I know Yeye likes to call me out on it when I'm having a moment. She's like, look at your keychain. I was like, yes, be nice. So it's also Stand for Children Day. It's Wear a Dress Day on Wednesday as well. It's Milk Day, World Milk Day. On Thursday, it's Leave the Office Early Day. Oh gosh, this is not going to happen for me, but if you're able to leave the office early on Thursday, please go ahead and do so, because it is a holiday. It actually is a holiday. Leave the office early on Thursday. If you love rotisserie chicken, it's rotisserie chicken day. It's Rocky Road ice cream. I don't know who comes up with this ice cream names, but apparently there's an ice cream flavor that's called Rocky Road. So it's Rocky Road ice cream day. It's also I love my dentist day. I love my dentist day. Of course, you're gonna love your dentist after downing down all those cups of ice cream or bowls of ice cream, you're gonna be like, oh, I need my dentist. Anyway, so it's Love My Dentist Day on Thursday as well. Friday is Gun Violence Awareness Day. I think this is really, really important. Just creating awareness, bringing awareness to gun violence, especially now, coming off of the week that we just had, the heartbreaking week. I'll touch a little bit on that in a second. It's Egg Day, it's Donut Day, donut lovers out there. It's Love Conquers All. Love Conquers All day on Friday. This should be an everyday thing. The same way you smile, the same way you say things nice, you need to remember that love conquers all. Love conquers all, and that would just really take that rounds up the holidays for the week. Love conquers all. I think this should be every single day. If we have it in our hearts that love is whatever we do is based on love, I mean, I don't think we'll have any problems in our world, and we won't have as much problems as we have today, knowing that we're thinking about the other and coming from a place of love. So those are my holidays, and if you're just joining in, again, this is Faith Matters with me, Mnena, a platform where we reflect and just talk about our daily Christian walk. I do most of the talking. The family on Facebook or sometimes YouTube are able to chime in and join in on the discussion, but just reflecting with you just how it is, how, through personal reflection pages of maybe some things, some scriptures that I've been meditating on, and just my life in general, and how I respond or not respond to things from a faith perspective or not. And that's just what Faith Matters is all about. Again, I'll be reflecting quite a bit on the book. I'm going to finish my conclusion on the book, Checking In by Michelle Williams. I know I'd spoken about it last week, giving pointers on just pointing out things that she had in there that I thought were powerful and just really necessary for us to know, and just be mindful of in our world today, and just with ourselves. And checking in is just really, really, really it's a really amazing book. It's a really amazing book. So I'll be touching on that in a little bit, and also reflecting on the massacre that happened last week, where those babies, those beautiful children were just killed. Along with their teachers. It was so heartbreaking, and I know I don't know who was not affected. Everyone was affected by that. I mean, if you hear the story, it's just really heartbreaking. It's gut wrenching. I mean, things like that really, really hurt. But again, I think when you look at it from a parent's perspective, you can't even imagine, being that you send your child to school and you drop them off. From me, this is just my reflection on it. When I heard, I mean, I was broken, because I just really thought, I was thinking, I mean, it was the same day I took my kids to school, and one of my sons is literally in the same age range as the kids that were killed. The youngest in of the kids was 8 years old, and I have an 8-year-old, and I just couldn't. I was just picturing it. I drop off my kid. I love you. God bless you. Have a good day. I'll see you later. And my hope is to go back and pick them up when school is over. But I think about the parents that did that dropped their kids off that morning and then got that phone call. I mean, it's just really, really, really heartbreaking. Words can't even begin to express the pain. I mean, I don't think anybody even has the words to even console those parents in this time of grief. But of course, God in his infinite mercy will definitely bestow in them his comfort. But it just really raises a lot of questions and what are we doing? How have we come to this point, to this place, of not caring, of just not valuing life anymore? Like, what is going on? And there's just different factors that can lead to things like this. But at the end of the day, it's like we need God. We need God in everything that we do. We need God in our lives. We need God in our nation. We need God in our homes. God, I mean, we've taken God out, and because we've taken God out, the enemy, the devil, is having a field day. The devil is having a field day in our families. The devil is having a field day with our kids. The devil is having a field day in our nation. And we really, really, really need to just seek God's face now and just go back and just have God back. And that's the only way, I believe that's the only way that we can start to see some restoration of some sort, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, what would possess a child? I mean, I still consider that 18-year. I don't care if that's like his legal age. If they say you're legally an adult at 18, he's still a child. He's 18 years old. What would possess a child? I mean, that's the enemy right there. And there's just so many questions of that we need to sit back and ask ourselves and see where, what we can do, and just invite God to come in and just rescue us from the situation that we've gotten ourselves into. And so I have a few thoughts on that as well. And just we're just living in different times. We're just living in different times now. And sometimes I was yesterday, it was a quiet evening for me. Of course, we and the boys, we had a good time. We spent quality time together. And then they, of course, being brothers, they like to do their own little brotherly things sometimes without and giving me space, which I love to just have my own little mommy time. So they were doing their own little thing after we had our little quality time. And then I decided to watch I can't remember when the last time was that I sat down and watched TV. But I laid in bed and I decided to just watch something. And I was like, you know what? I want to watch Pride and Prejudice. I love the book. It's an old classic for those of you who know it. So I decided to put Pride and Prejudice on, and I mean, the old one, the classic one, not not the one, the remade one that is I don't know what to describe that one, but not that one, the old one. So, but it was just so refreshing. It was so refreshing to watch that. And I while I was watching, I just kept reflecting how times have changed, how we're living in different times now. I was so happy to just watch something clean. It just really revealed simpler times, which was just so sweet. There wasn't any lewdness. Of course, I love the book. Yes, Sister Claudette, it's a great book. It's really powerful. There wasn't any lewdness in it. There wasn't it was just sweet. It was just a sweet movie to watch, and not even not be scared. I mean, it's something I could watch with my kids. And it just got me thinking, how much our world has changed now, where, you can't, there's just so much on TV right now that's not even appropriate. There's just different things that are being, shoved down our throats. There's so many things that are shoved down our kids' throats. But it just really got me reflecting on just the simpler times, and how nice it would be to just have that again, have those times where you just have things could be so simple. And I think I was sharing with a friend earlier, it was so funny, because in the movie there was a part where I think the mother sent the daughter off to someone that she fancied, and she went off in the rain, and she got a cold, and she wrote a letter back home, and she said, hey, I have a cold, and just a little bit of fever. And mom was like, oh well, a little bit of cold doesn't hurt anyone, she'll be fine. And in my mind I was like, wow, that's not gonna happen now in COVID times. Anybody sneezes now, oh, it's COVID, everyone's gonna run. You sit in a room and people are scared to cough, or people are scared to, because of just how things have turned around now. Even if it's a normal cold, everyone's gonna be like, oh, okay, is it COVID? Like, what is that? So it's just so funny to kind of like see things like that, and just compare and see how things have just really changed so far in our world today. And so it also reminded me, and it said to me that regardless of what is going on right now, regardless of how the world is right now and everything, that yes, things are different. You can still enjoy a movie or a song without it being vulgar. You can still do that. You just have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of what you're letting into your soul, into yourself. Yeah, I always say be mindful of what you watch, what you read, the songs that you listen to, just whatever these are all gateways into yourself. So what are you letting into your body, through your eyes, through your ears, and of course what do you eat, ingesting as well. But even though we're living in times like this where there's a lot of inappropriate things going on, or things, inappropriate materials out there, you don't have to buy into that. You can still enjoy, like I said, you can still enjoy a movie or a song without it being vulgar. You can just pick out, the ones that are just really clean and enjoy it. I just think it's really important for us to hold on to the decency of years past, and try to teach those things to our younger generation as well. Even though this is what they're growing up in, this is what they know. It's still incumbent on us to teach them, to tell them and show them things like that, things of the past, so that they can also have an idea and see how things were, and the appropriateness of material like that. And so, like I was saying, it was just really sad what happened last week. Again, all of this is tying into just what we're doing right now, how we're living our lives today, and things that are going on in our lives today. So it was really sad what happened. It happened last week. This child, again, to me, he's a child. Whether he's 18 or not, he is a child, a young man, of 18, walking into a school and shooting up 19 students, 19 kids, and their teachers. It hurts all around. It just really hurts all around. Like I said, you can't even begin to imagine the pain. So when things like these happen, it makes you wonder and reflect more. Where are we failing, or where are we going wrong as people, as children of God? Where are we going wrong? Where have we failed? What would possess someone, a child for that matter, to do such a thing? Questions arise of mental health and all of that stuff, of course, during this time. And we're like, for me, it's not just mental health encompasses so much more into that, but then our spiritual health, our spiritual spirit and faith health as well is called into question here. What is going on in our homes? We as parents, these are questions that we have to reflect on as adults, as parents. What is going on in our homes? Are we as parents and guardians, are we planting the right seeds? Are we nurturing and taking care the right way? I always say that my kids are not mine. I'm only babysitting for God. He entrusted them in my care, so they're not my children, they're his children. And because he has entrusted them in my care, it's incumbent on me to do all that I can in my power, with his help, to raise them in the way that he wants them to be raised. And you can achieve this by just really planting those seeds, of course, leaning on the Bible. Like, the Bible is the only resource that we have. It's the only parent book, it's the only parenting book that we have to rely on. We can't do it on our own. What are we doing to make sure that our children are growing into spiritually and emotionally sound, solid individuals in society? Are we really laying that solid foundation in Christ? Are we doing that? What are we doing? We have to remember that the family is the first church. The church is not a building. With the family, your family is the first church. We all have a responsibility to make sure that we're doing what we need to do, that we're raising up and teaching these children what it is that they need to learn. We need to have that basic, that foundation, that solid foundation for them. So what is it? What is that foundation that we're laying down? Yes, yes, we're living in terrible times. But what are we doing in the homes? How are we teaching them? How are we nurturing them? What are we telling them about the word? How are we teaching them the word? How are we praying with them? Are we teaching them about prayer? Are we teaching them about developing their own relationship with the Lord? Not what we're telling them, but teaching them to have their own relationship, knowing God for themselves. How are we laying that foundation in the lives of our children? I strongly believe that when we do those, when we start to make those deposits now and plant those seeds, yes, when they grow up, they're going to make their own decisions. They're going to make their own choices. But trust me, whatever we lay down, what that solid foundation, whatever we've imparted in them, will definitely they'll hold on to it. They're not going to depart from it, and the word tells us that as well. For us to train them and teach them in the way that they should grow. For where they grow up, they're not going to depart from it. And so what are we doing? What are we doing? What's going on in our homes? You may say, oh, I don't have any kids, so I can't. But you probably have, you're probably a guardian to someone. You're a mentor to a child. There's a kid out there that looks up to you. How are you planting a seed in that child's life? Because trust me, if we don't do our part as parents, if we do not do our parts as parents or as guardians, as adults, it's a crazy world out there. And when the enemy throws things at them, if they're not firmly rooted, they're going to fall by the wayside. And things, nasty things, terrible things are going to start happening. They're going to be doing things because they don't know. And because the enemy has a strong hold, the enemy will definitely wrap up, the lie and the deceit and all of that, and just really pretty it all up for them. And it's going to look appealing. And so we really do have a responsibility as parents, as guardians, as a nation, to really, really train our kids in the way that they should grow. Are we teaching them love, empathy, love for the other, love for self and love for the other? What image what image of themselves do they see, or are we portraying to them, or are we showing them? Good evening, Brother D. What are we doing? What are we doing? How can we just really not fail these kids? Because we all have a responsibility. Yes, it's all of our responsibility. We're all responsible. I was sharing with our deacon the other day. I said, I'm responsible now. I'm going to be held accountable for their lives, like right now, the formative years of their lives. God's going to hold me accountable. Yes, of course, when they grow, they're going to make their own decision. But what have I done now? What am I doing right now in their lives? What seed am I planting right now in their lives? Again, remembering that they're not my kids. I'm only babysitting for God. Because when we train our kids in the way, when we teach them the word, when we raise them on the word of God, then they're solid. Then they're not tossed about like the waves. They're not. They know who they are. They're able to tell. They're able to discern. They're able to distinguish between the voice of the world and the voice of God. They're able to know right from wrong. They're able to love. They're able to empathize. So when the enemy comes whispering to them, "Oh, you're not loved. You're weird. You're different from this person. You're this. You're that. They don't like you. They've been talking about you. They're not like you. They're not the same." Because that's the enemy whispering things to to their minds. I don't know what was going on in that young man's mind. I don't know what lies he whispered to him for him to go do something like that. But I sure know that he didn't love himself, because if he did, he would have love for the other. So we need to train our children, we need to teach our kids to have love for self. There's no way you're going to love someone else if you do not have that love of self. Because we are created in God's image and likeness. God thinks we're a big deal. He loves us unconditionally. And if He loves us, that's all that matters. We don't have to listen or look to what people say about us, or let somebody else's definition of us, take us or overwhelm us, or make us act in a certain way, because we know who we are. So we have a responsibility to really, really just teach our kids. And it starts from the home. It starts from the family. Because if we don't do it as a family, if you don't do it in the home, if you don't take responsibility of just laying that solid foundation, the enemy is going to do that. He's going to plant a seed in them, and you do not want that. That's the last thing you want. Because you will be answerable on the last day. And so it's really important for us to I wanted to just share that tonight, because again, like I said, I was really touched by what happened. And of course, I'm sure everybody was touched by it. And it just really brings up that question of, what do we do? What are we doing? Where have we gone wrong? What can we do? I mean, what do we need to do? We need to go back. Go back to God. Go back to the basics. Parents, we have a responsibility to train our kids, to bring them up in the way of God. Discipline your child. I think nowadays many parents are just trying to be friends with their kids and not being parents at all. But as I also say that, I'm also mindful, or also know that, there are parents who don't have that love, who don't have that knowledge, who don't have that solid foundation. And of course, that's why we're seeing such a breakdown. But what are the other what's society doing? What are we as Christians doing? Do you see a child who is not yours but is going astray, and are you touched by it, and do you reach out and try to play a positive role in that child's life? Do you do that? Something to think about this evening as we carry on, as we continue to pray for those families during this time. Now, of course, like I touched on the issue of mental health, there's just so much going on. There's so much going on today. And last week I was talking about, checking in. It's a book by Michelle Williams. It's an amazing book. I finished reading it, and it was just so, like I said, she touched on so many things in there that was just so heartwarming. And we as Christians, especially as Christians, there's so many things we shy away from talking about. Mental health is one of those things. We don't talk about it. We're not talking about depression. We're not talking about things that are happening in our minds, in our heads. And so she says that, God had shown her through her experience that her failure to check in with herself always leads to some sort of emotional outburst and damages or ends a relationship at some point. So when she was talking about checking in, she was talking about checking in with self. How do we check in with ourselves? It's really important to check in with ourselves, because if we don't check in with ourselves, we don't know who we are. It's important to check in with yourself to see where you're at, to see what's going on with you. You cannot understand yourself, or you can't be that best version of yourself if you don't constantly check in with yourself. What's making you tick? You're reacting in a certain way. What is it that's really triggering that reaction from you, or that emotion? There's always something that's deeper than what's shown on the surface. So checking in just really helps to really touch at the core of what's going on. So part of checking in with yourself is becoming aware of what thoughts you're having over and over again. And I like the fact that she comes from a Christian perspective, because and she's battled depression. She deals with it. It's something that she's going through, and she was just really candid about it in this book. So when you're having those thoughts, when you're going through those, you're having those mental issues, and you're not checking in with yourself. You don't know what's going on with you. You don't have a pulse on it, and then you don't check in and you explode. And things, terrible things. You carry out terrible acts, or you do terrible things. One thing that she said again that I thought was really profound, she said, anxiety is not a representation of the truth. It is a representation of what we fear. So many times, I know I deal with anxiety quite a bit as well. And sometimes it's not, and I know it's not the truth. I know what I'm capable of. I know the gifts that God has bestowed on me. I know what I can do, but it's the enemy just wrapping things up and throwing anxiety away. It's a representation of what we fear. So having an idea or a pulse on that which you fear is profound, and it's a stepping stone to overcoming that anxiety that you have or you're dealing with. And you cannot get to that point until you check in. So check in with yourself. And she says no one is a better liar than a depressed person in denial. A lot of times, you're going through something, you're just really in that depressed state, but you're like, oh no, I'm not depressed. Everything's fine. And you cover it up. Somebody sees you, you have this big old smile on your face. You're so cheery, but deep down, you're depressed and you're just in denial. You're just such a great liar, because you're fearful of really acknowledging that which you're going through. You're fearful of naming that thing that you're going through, and because of that, you don't want anybody else to know what you're going through. So when somebody says, oh, how's it going? Oh, it's going great, I'm doing well, when you're not. So no one is a better liar than a depressed person. So if you're going to be checking in with yourselves, you have to know that if you're going to be checking in with others, because she talks about checking in with yourself, checking in with others, of course checking in with God. That should be like the first thing. If you're going to be checking in with others, you have to know you have to know who those are, who those people that you're checking in with are, and what they stand for. Are they people who are aligned, who are strong in the faith? Are they people who can, really lift you up when you're down? Are they people who will encourage you, who will not be scared to tell you the truth, to call you out on something? So regardless of what the cost, what it might cost you to check in with yourself, because sometimes you're like, okay, if I have to check in with myself now, oh gosh, I have to take time off of work. This is going to cost me some money. This is going to cost me days of wages, or oh, it's going to cost me my pride, or something. So regardless of what the cost is for you to check in, it's a better bargain. It's a bargain compared with it's a better bargain compared to checking out. You would rather check in with yourself than check out. Because once you check in with yourself, you recognize those triggers, you recognize what's going on, and you take steps towards the healing. And she touched on one final thing, which I want to talk about before I leave tonight, is the aspect of forgiveness. And she says that being able to forgive, because that's usually like a huge part in this whole puzzle of mental health and anxiety and things. Forgiveness plays a huge part in it, and she says being able to forgive others, or ask for forgiveness, and also to forgive yourself, is about you. I thought that was really, really profound. Being able to forgive others, being able to ask for forgiveness, and to forgive yourself is about you. It's about you. It's about checking in with your heart and not being tied to someone in a negative way. It's about checking in with your heart and not being tied to someone in a negative way. So remember to check in with yourself. Don't forget. Don't take it for granted. Check in with yourself, because it's extremely important to do so. It's extremely important to do so, because if you don't check in with yourself, I can't even tell you what's going to happen. The end result is not going to be pretty. Good evening, Sister Marcia. Thank you for coming on. The end result is not going to be pretty. So it's important for us to really check in with ourselves. Again, it's a great read. If you're able to get your hands on it, please go ahead and do so. Again, it is Checking In by Michelle Williams. That is Yes's girl. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. It's a really great read. I loved it. I'm starting on a new one. I'll probably share that with all of you next week again. But again, let's remember, as I get ready to bid you all good night, please let's remember. What we're doing right now. Where are we at? Where have we gone? We have gone off tracks. We've gone wrong. We've done wrong. What can we do as a family? What can we do, first off, as individuals? What can we do as a family? What can we do as a society to bring back love, to just really just mold our children? What can we do? What do we need? What are the little changes or the steps that we need to take now, today? How are we laying that foundation? I know in my house today, I had another conversation again. I know that, like I say, my kids are not mine. I'm babysitting for God. He has, entrusted them in my care, and I do my very best with His, with His grace, and strength to just teach them and train them in the way that He wants me to train them. But I had that conversation again with them today, and I said to them, listen, all I'm doing here is teaching you. I want you to be able to have that relationship, your own personal relationship with God. I want you, Shima, I want you, Sue, to know God for yourself. Not what mommy tells you, not what dada says, but what you say. You as Shima should be able to say, I know God for this. God has been good to me, Shima, in this way. I know God for myself, not what my teachers say, not what others say, not what the priest says, but what I have that relationship with God. And so we have to start in the home. We have to start in our families. We have to start in our families to teach these children, to train them, to lift them up, and help them grow, to mold them into, solid individuals in society that are well grounded, spiritually, emotionally, and all in all aspects of their lives, so that they can be just loving individuals in society, love for the other. We have to teach love. We have to teach love. And so on that note, I just want to say again, thank you for coming on. Hopefully you're able to take something away tonight, and just chew on it, and also maybe run with it, and also maybe start something in your family as well. Thank you all so much for coming on this evening. Again, thank you. I speak for the entire team when I say thank you. We appreciate all your support. Continue to support your radio station. Different ways to do so are through Cash App. That is the $ New Season WC, the $ New Season WC, through Zelle, 954-536-1821, 954-536-1821. You can also go straight to our website, newseasonfm.com, click on the give/donate button, and it takes you right to a page where you can just give right there. It's so easy to do. If any of those don't work for you, write us a check and just mail it out to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351, or 33319. Again, that is 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. So thank you again so much for coming on. Join us in the morning for In His Presence at 6:30 a.m. as we just worship God and commit the day to His hands tomorrow morning from 6:30 to 7:30. Of course, again, join Pastor Steve on the Pastor Steve Show from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And you're going to circle around back and join us again at 7:30 for Speak the Word with Reverend Crescent Hessen on tomorrow, 6:30. Speak the Word. It's always an amazing time just to hear what God has to say through her on the show. So on that note, I want to say thank you to family who have tuned in on 89.1 FM. Thank you all so much. NewSeasonFM.com. Thank you for listening. YouTube, thank you. And of course, Facebook family in the room. Yes, it's at 7:30. Speak the Word at 7:30 with Reverend Crescent Hessen. Thank you so much, Facebook family, for coming on. Sister Laurel, thank you. Sister Helena, Sister Claudette, thank you so much for coming on. Sister Marcia, thank you. Yeah, of course. Sister Grace, Pastor Henry, thank you. James, thank you. Brother D, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate all of you. Don't want to miss anyone, but thank you. Sister Salma, thank you. And for those who I probably have missed as well, I apologize. I will acknowledge everyone at the end of the show. Thank you for your support. So continue to be a blessing out there to others. And taking us out tonight will be another one of my favorites. I think I'm getting all of you guys into my Nigerian family kind of thing. So this is Blessing Me. It's an amazing new jam. Well, it's not new, but it is just getting you into my Nigerian vibe. So taking us out is Blessing Me. So it's the same person that sang the one I shared 2 weeks in a row, the Selensa one. But just really thanking God for His blessings on our lives. So have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you, 'cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you, 'cause you keep on blessing me. And when I step in a place and I look like a star, say them but say I they do shaka fry. Enemies them see me, they want do me jaga jaga. Oh my, I'm not moving, I'm just see my agbada. Do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. It's Papa God blessing me. I go lift up my voice and sing. When people see me, they ask me, say, what did they make me shine every day? Now Papa upgrade me, I elevate. Enemies surround me, them done dead. Them not fit
touch me, covered by grace. Now Baba upgrade me, I celebrate. I thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. We don't want no drama, we don't want wahala. But if you try to jam me, you will jam palava. And if you try to harm me, you will never prosper. Oh no, I say you will never prosper. They don't know the way and they don't know the how. But you should know this by now. And if you're feeling me, then you can sing it loud. Sing it loud. Will you lift up your voice and when people see me, they ask me, say, what thing they make me shine every day? Now Baba upgrade me, I elevate, I elevate, I elevate. Enemies surround me, them done dead. Them nothing touch me, covered by grace. Now Baba upgrade me, I celebrate. I thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. Do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. It's Baba God blessing me. I go lift up my voice and sing. And do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. It's Baba God blessing me. Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me. 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 Thank you cause you keep on blessing me.
They bow down